Hi, this is Brenda Daly, and this is Real Women Celebrating Women in Independent Film. I am an actor, writer, and creator, and I am here with Cornell Kullem, and he is a producer, writer, and executive producer. And how are you doing, Kevin?
I am doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So good to see you here. I'm so excited. You have so many projects coming up.
Yeah, a couple.
So, what is the biggest project? I know I've seen tons of Ice Squad. Like that seems to be like your whole franchise.
Yeah, the Vice Squad franchise is 18 different projects based around the world. We're starting with Los Angeles and New Orleans, and we'll be shooting those in April of this year. So.
Oh, that's super exciting. So, and I know you have them in like Chicago, and you have it in, I think you have it in another country. You're shooting the Vice Squad?
Yeah, we have the other countries are Spain, New Zealand, Australia, the UK. So,
but you're starting with the Los Angeles version.
Yeah, we're starting in LA. We'll shoot that in April, and we're going to shoot New Orleans at the same time because we have people that are going to be on the New Orleans show and the LA show, and there's a crossover. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So are you excited? I know you've been working so hard on this.
It's exciting. They're pretty big budget, and that's the thing, because both of them are $10 million pilots. So there's a process that people don't understand when it comes to why things take so long to get going and all that stuff. But, it is what it is.
I think anybody in the industry that's done any kind of producing or writing or directing even know that it does take a long time. Like it seems like it's effortless because that's what we want them to show them. But the reality is it takes a lot of planning. And I think you have to almost be a good mathematician to make sure that everything's in its right spot. And so that, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, because if you don't, it can run into some problems. And then of course it makes big delays, right?
A lot. And that's the thing, because we've been working on it off and on for about 4 years, building the franchise, building the whole thing. And now that we have it set up, we have A-list talent coming in. We have a lot of newcomers. We have a lot of people that people have seen on TV. So it's going to be a great mix. And that's one of the things that we strive for, is to include everybody so we can bring everybody up in the industry. So.
And of course, developing new talent is always exciting, right?
Yes.
It would be great to find that, those big faces for the next 10 years.
Exactly.
That's super exciting. So how did you get into this, Kevin?
Funny story. My wife at the time, Stephanie Korn, came in the house, and she had a friend of hers, and they were talking about they were going to do a TV show, and said, yeah, we're going to shoot a TV show. And I'm going, okay, that's great. And they ended up going to the community college up in Boise, Idaho, and shot a pilot. They did a little talk show. And a week later, we got a call from network, and they wanted the show. And Kevin, can you direct? Sure, I can direct it. I'll leave my restaurant job and direct TV shows, and the rest is history. So she started with Treasure Valley View. It turned into the Stevie K show. And I used to joke that they said, what do you do? I said, I'm the K at the end. So.
Yeah. I think of behind the scenes. Yeah, I noticed you did another show with her called Next Best Bartender. And, I was a career bartender until COVID hit.
Yeah, we did that, and we had it all across we had networks all across the country wanting it. And it ended up not being at the level that we wanted it to be to put it on air. So we put it on the shelf, and we're talking about coming out with it next year.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, I actually have a kind of a show like that too myself that I have been putting on. It's called You've Been Served, because, that's what I did most of my life. But that's super exciting. I would watch that show. I would watch The Next Best Bartender.
Yeah, we have the trailer. Actually, I'll put the trailer put it up on my Facebook today, because the trailer that we have for it is pretty good. It's pretty funny. So now we were talking next year, but we might do it this year. I'm debating.
Right. Well, if you send me any kind of links, I can put them at the bottom of the page. So
Okay.
anything, so anybody who wants to watch this, or if you're ever pitching anything, you can always, because I think people like to get to know you. So, and I know you've got, you're filming Realm of the Waterfall.
Yeah, Realm of the Waterfall. That's another one where it's a motion picture, and then it's going to turn into a series. We're shooting that in the Canary Islands and the Scottish Highlands.
Wow.
It's a $45 million movie and a $35 million television pilot. So
wow.
We have more A-list for that, and I'm excited to shoot in the Canary Islands. Never been there before, so I'm excited to go.
What made you pick it?
We ended up talking to the production house for The Witcher and Berlin Station, and they loved the idea, they loved the concept, they wanted to be a part of it. So we said, we'll shoot it there. So we have the 7 islands of the Canary Islands to shoot, and we're going to do part of it in Scottish Highlands, and some of it in Wales, on some of the cliffs in Wales. So it's going to be big budget.
Right. So when you look for a place to actually film something besides the relationship, do you ever look for like incentives? Like, is that a factor for you?
Incentives are a factor unless it's in an area, because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in Arizona. It's cheaper to film there. So the incentives, there's no incentives, but because of the cost. But Canary Islands, we're getting 45% on our tax rebate. So
that's great. Yeah, I think as a filmmaker, the first thing you do is look for incentives where your location's going to be. And I think everybody's probably going to come up with even more incentives, just for the sheer fact that, with the COVID lockdown and everything, people really want to get filming going. It brings industry.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we have 7 projects going to Mississippi. Mississippi's working well with us. We talk to them on a regular basis, so it's exciting to put these things. It's a jigsaw puzzle, just putting it all together.
I think that's why I like producing, and I think is because it's a big puzzle. And the thing is you have to get the right people on board in order to make it work.
Yeah.
I think that's super important. How do you get a hold of these people? You just call them cold, or you get to know somebody and then they get to know somebody, or how do you do it?
It's a mix. I have some people that I've known or I've met through the industry, and then there's other people that are working with us that call and say, hey, you should talk to this person, and then I get a phone call from them, and we just build relationships. I've been talking to a few of the veteran actresses, actors in the industry that are coming on board with what we're doing now. And it's amazing to talk to some of these people who have been on shows for 10, 20, 30 years, and they're giving you all this new information, and they're saying, oh yeah, you need to talk to this person. And then I go, yeah, I know that person. Oh, I know that person. And you don't know them, but you feel like you know them because you've seen them on TV for years.
I think too, it's kind of like the 7 degrees. You're always 7 people away from the person you want to get a hold of, right?
Yeah, and a lot of times it's 2 people away.
Oh, yeah.
You talk to one person one day, and then they go, oh yeah, have you heard of this person? Yeah, I've heard of them. Well, they want to talk to you. Oh, okay. I got that call from CAA the other day. They called and said, hey, I've got somebody that saw one of your projects and wants to be a part of it. And they're an A-list actor. And I'm like, yeah, I'll make a role for them.
That's awesome. I think too, there's a lot more need for content, more than ever before. I think a lot more people are home more. I feel like there's a lot more people watching in variety, and then of course my personal favorite is I usually like anything fantasy or historic. So, I have definitely
a bunch of those coming out.
Yeah. So I love the idea of the Realm of the Waterfall. And then what is Into the Gray?
Into Gray, that's one of the, I'm producing on it. It was a friend of mine had a crime drama that they did a pilot for, and they said, hey, would you like to come on and produce? And we'd like to get your studio involved. And then we've worked on it some. We have to retool it to make it to network level, because that's the only thing that we do. We don't do independent. We don't do short. Everything that we have is going to network. So we've already got that one. Once we reconfigure it, it's already under review at network right now. So, but it's similar to like the Vice Squad that we have, like Tainted Shield. So we have a few in that crime drama area, which is good because I'm all about my crime dramas.
Yeah, you're a big fan of the crime dramas for sure. So yeah, I love crime dramas. I think there's a lot of them, and I think it's just adding that little twist. And then of course the beloved characters are always the most important thing, right?
Yeah, and ours have plenty of, we call it twistedness because we take it to a whole new level of the characters and the storylines. We get a lot of stories that are actual stories, and we develop those. It's hard to create storylines that nobody's ever seen because crime dramas have been around forever.
Right, I think too, it is hard, and do you really want to? I think even the way they handle television today as what they did 10 years ago when it comes to crime, because, you know, every 10 years, everything's moving so fast, and even the way the police or the lawyers handle things, they have to adjust to what's going on just like the rest of us, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we are very we keep an eye on because we have attorneys, we have police, we have fire department, we have Homeland Security, we have all these people that we have as technical advisors so that they read the scripts and they say, this isn't correct, this isn't right, and then we adjust our scripts to make sure that they are correct, because I don't want to see things, because nobody wants to see things on TV that are just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think too, everybody wants to watch something relatable, you know?
Yeah.
I think that, you know, because that's what interests them. Like, even though like there's been shows that people are like, oh, you have to watch this. And I'm like, yeah, I'll watch an episode or two, but if it doesn't catch me, maybe it's just not my thing. It doesn't mean it's not a good show. It's just maybe it's not for me.
Yeah,
right?
That's one of our things. When we write scripts, we make it so that in the beginning, there's going to be something that hooks you in that's going to make you watch the whole thing. And
yeah,
we hook you in the beginning and the end, so you have to watch the next episode.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, the cliffhanger, or is what they used to call it.
Ours are big.
That's super exciting. So, what would you tell somebody that was just getting into making that hasn't been doing it as long as you have? Because I know you've been setting these things up. How many years has been going on for you as far as getting everything set up that you want? Because how many projects are you working on?
We have right now that we're actively working on is about 45.
Wow.
So, and we have on our slate, we're just under 400. So we're set up from now until 2032, I believe.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
you just have to launch the one, and everything else should trickle down.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about it is we have a lot of things that are starting that we're already scheduling that we're going to be shooting. We're working with Sun Studios in Arizona. We're going to be doing a lot of work with them. We're talking about right now building our own studios. So we've got 10 locations, 5 here and 5 in the rest of the world that we're looking at. So there's a lot going on. But what I would tell like a new filmmaker is to get a good team. You can't do it by yourself. Don't try. Get people around you that are going to give you the true answer. And that's one of the things about our company is we don't have yes people. People tell me no all the time.
I think that's super important. I feel like I've been in certain situations where I tell people maybe not what they want to hear, and then they get upset with me. But, you know, I believe in honesty. Why say something that you don't believe in? Because it's not that you're right all the time. It's just that you have to have an opinion. I mean, that's why they bring you on. Yeah.
And that's one of my things. I'm the honesty broker. I'm going to tell people straight out that we can't do their project. I'm not going to say that their project is bad. I'm just going to say we can't. Your project doesn't fit what we're looking to do. And because we're doing so much high budget stuff, when people come to me with a $100,000 project, it doesn't make financial sense for us to spend the time on it.
Especially when you have $1 million projects or $10 million pilots. And
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I think too, being a new filmmaker, you should probably just do it. Just, if you get to one step, like you said, you guys kind of started with this little TV show, and then it just kind of it moved into the next thing, because you're starting to build a reputation, of, you're getting things done, So, and you are going to make mistakes,
Oh yeah.
Lots of them. We all do.
Yeah, we've made our share, and we do. Like, people tell me, you're doing it backwards, and I'm going, it might be backwards, but we have the same destination. We have a vision of where we're going with the company, and that's the key, is staying true to the vision, true to the direction of the company. And because we're doing it in that way, it's making it so that we're getting a lot of people coming on board that are just, wow, I can't believe you're doing this.
Well, I'm super excited for you. So I wanted to ask you, because this is Real Women Celebrating Women in Independent Film, what woman in film and television has inspired you? I feel like it's your wife.
It's, it was her, because she got me into it, because I had never thought about being in television, and she's just like, this is what I'm going to do. And she pushed all her chips in the middle, because she was at the time an insurance broker, and just said, I want to be in television. And I said, okay. And then we start going, and now she's chief marketing officer for the company. She handles all the marketing. She works with the PR companies and all of those, and she develops content. She's got a couple of projects that she's doing the writing for. So, and when it comes to women in film, our company is very female focused, if you want to call it that. I did the math today just to figure out where we were, and our company is 83% female.
Wow.
So, I listen, and I'm probably, out of the number of people we have, I'm probably in the middle in terms of smarts, and I listen to them. I go to them. I was just on the phone with one today, one of my executives, saying, hey, what about this? And they gave me their input on it, because I don't make any decision by myself.
I think that's so smart. I don't think anybody should. I mean, there's a lot of stake, especially when you're dealing with so many projects. I really feel like it's going to be a huge success. Like, once you get this whole thing started, it's going to be amazing. I really believe in you, Kevin. And I think that,
I appreciate that.
I get chills when you talk, because I know how much work it is. I make one feature film, and it's obsessed my whole year.
Yeah. We're the little engine. That's what our business manager calls us. He goes, every time I talk to you, I have to decompress, because you're going at a level that people usually don't go at in the beginning. They usually ramp up to it. It's like,
I think you have the eye on the prize. Like, you see it very visually in your head. Like, you know exactly what you're doing. Like, every time I talk to you, you never falter. You never really seem like you're nervous about it. You always seem like, okay, I got this. Whatever's going to happen, I got this.
Yeah, because I've already seen it happen. I know where it's going, and the thing about it is, 3 years ago, had a major heart attack. I ended up dying. They brought me back. So I figure, if I can live through that, somebody telling me no on a project is nothing.
Oh, wow.
I go at a different level, because somebody has to do it.
Well, yeah, especially when you're building an empire.
Yep.
I almost feel like you could almost build your own network station with all the projects that you have, which is...
We're already in the process of doing that. We have our own platform coming out. That'll come out next year. We have networks, we have production companies, we have our own agencies, management. It's about 50 companies that are encompassing the umbrella right now. So
that's great. Well, it's been so great talking to you, Kevin. I really enjoyed this, and I know the audience will be super excited to hear about all these 45 projects that are just getting. I think there's like 58 total on your IMDb, so this is just 45 of them. So I really feel like
we've got a bunch. We've got a bunch out there, so we're excited about it. We've got a bunch in network review. We just got 21 that just picked up. 21 of our films just picked up distribution, so.
That's super exciting. We'll have to talk to you about distribution later on today. But it's been really great talking to you, Kevin. This is Brenda Daly. This is Real Women Celebrating Women in Independent Film. But today we're celebrating Kellum Kullem. Thanks a lot, Kevin.
Thank you.